Seamless Summer Option Training Part 2. New sites. A new site is a site that did not participate in the program the prior year or experienced site that is proposing to operate a non-congregate meal service for the first time or has high significant staff turnover. Sites also switching from congregate meal service to non-congregate meal service in summer of 2025, and those sites which are operating hybrid sites for the first time. Pre-approval visits. Okay. Characteristics that must be considered include, but are not limited to, sites that did not participate in the program in the prior year, sites that are new to non-congregate meal service, and also existing sites that exhibited operational problems in the prior year. Gov. Site eligibility. Sites that will offer non-congregate meal service must be rural, not serve in an area where children will receive the same meal at an approved congregate meal site, serve an area in which poor economic conditions exist, or is approved for reimbursement only for meals served for free to enrolled children who meet the program's eligibility standards, distribute no more than the allowable number of reimbursable meals that will be provided over a 10 calendar day period. Sites that offer both congregate and non-congregate meal service, also known as hybrid sites, must do all of the above and additionally conduct a non-congregate meal service when the site is not providing congregate meal service and prevent overlap between meal services and ensure that children are not receiving more than the maximum allowance of meals. Non-congregate meal services. When utilizing any of the non-congregate meal service options, sponsors must ensure required food components for each reimbursable meal served meet the meal pattern requirements. All food items that contribute to a reimbursable meal must be easily identifiable. Menus must also be provided, and food preparation must be a minimal. Multi-day issuance. Approved sponsors may distribute up to the allowable number of reimbursable meals that will be provided over a 10 calendar day period. Each meal should be unitized based upon the provided menus. ALSD may establish a shorter time period on a case-by-case basis. Sponsors electing this option must have procedures in place that document to a reasonable extent the proper number of meals that are distributed to each eligible child. Bulk foods. Self-prep sponsors who are approved to operate the non-congregate meal service have the option to provide bulk foods to meet the meal pattern requirements for each meal type, with added safeguards, of course, to ensure program integrity and the health and safety of children. The maximum number of reimbursable meals provided to a child should not exceed the number of meals that could be provided over a 5 calendar day period. State approval is required to distribute more than 5 calendar day period meals. Parent-guardian meal pickup. Sponsors must be in good standing to allow parents or guardians to pick up program meals on behalf of eligible children. Those sponsors that participate in the parent-guardian meal pickup must have documented procedures in place to ensure that meals are only distributed to parents or guardians of eligible children and that duplicate meals are not distributed to any child. Here's an example of the summer meal pickup and delivery consent form for SSO. Home delivery is also an option for non-congregate meal service, but there are home delivery requirements. Sponsors must be able to identify and invite households of eligible children to participate. They must obtain written consent from eligible child's parent or guardian that households want to receive delivered meals. That written consent can be in the form of a hard copy, email, or other electronic means of communication. Sponsors must also confirm the household's current contact information and the number of eligible children in the household to ensure the correct number of meals are delivered to the correct location. And as always, sponsors must protect the confidentiality of the participants and their household throughout the process according to federal regulations. SSO sponsor monitoring. Non-congregate meal service. Monitors must monitor the home delivery model by observing the meals being loaded into delivery vehicles and also riding along with meal delivery drivers. To monitor the meal pickup model, monitors must observe the self-preparation of meals. Now, pre-approval site visits. Pre-approval site visits must be completed before summer operation begins. The sponsors must visit all new sites, sites that have had operational issues in the previous year, and sites that are new to non-congregate meal service. What happens when no congregate meal service is available? It is possible for one site to offer congregate and non-congregate meal services, but this cannot be implemented at the same meal service time. For example, non-congregate meal service may be offered at times only when congregate meal service is not available. A rural site serving congregate meals during the week may also offer non-congregate take-home meals for the weekend, or another example, a site provides congregate breakfast and a non-congregate lunch to be consumed later on off-site. Conditional non-congregate sites. This means a site that qualifies for program participation because it conducts a non-congregate meal service for eligible children. It is located in an area that does not meet the definition of a poor economic conditions. It is not a camp. Sponsors of these sites must notify participants of the availability of free meals and if a free meal application is needed. Sponsors of these sites are required to provide reasonable modifications to accommodate participants with disabilities. Sponsors must also certify that it will collect information to determine the children's eligibility to support its claim for reimbursement. Seamless summer option. Non-school sites will be approved for operation in the seamless summer option. SFAs must use your POS, roster, or Google Forms for non-congregate meal service. In SSO, who can receive a meal? All children who meet the state agency definition of mentally or physically disabled, and all children 18 years of age and younger. This side contains different sites that can be operated under the seamless summer option. Rural sites, open sites, restricted open site, enclosed enrolled site, migrant sites which must be certified for state agency approval, and camps. For an open site, all children eat without a charge where at least 50% of the enrolled students are eligible for free or reduced price meals. It is on a first come, first served basis. A restricted open site is a school which meets the open site criteria and is restricted due to safety, control, or security. An explanation of why the school is restricting attendance is required. Closed enroll sites. A school that meets the 50% criteria of an open or restricted open site, but serves only children in a specific program or activity. This normally includes 21st century grants, educational programs for low-income children, or migrant programs. But please be mindful to remember that academic summer schools cannot participate as a closed enroll site. Migrant sites. Those are serving children through age 18 of migrant families as certified by an SFA's migrant coordinator. They must apply for state agency approval to serve at least 3 meals, which includes summer. Camps, which can be residential or non-residential, offer regularly scheduled food service through age 18 to those eligible for free and reduced meals based on income may be reimbursed. However, Campers qualifying for paid meals may not be claimed for reimbursement. Camps must apply for state agency approval for service of 3 meals, which includes supper. Let's move on to SSO required record keeping. Here's a list of example of records that must be kept during the operation of Seamless Summer Option. Production records, menus, contribution reports, and daily meal count. This particular slide gives instructions on how to apply for the Seamless Summer Option on the online application. Please be reminded that tallies are not allowed. All meal counts must be done electronically. This slide contains the SSO survey question. Please click on the QR code and complete the survey. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask.